can't give my children certain things, right? You have arguments over money, um, with couples, no, I don't feel we need to get this. Yes, I think we need to get this. But look at the money. How are we going to pay the rent? How are we going to pay the mortgage? So serious financial stress that can make this not the most wonderful time of the year, right? And so it's really important to understand that this is one of the areas that can make this time stressful. And once you're not rich, you know you have to be making certain decisions. So, how to manage financial stress at Christmas? Have a plan for your money, which is what a budget is. Create a budget. It might sound like, oh, Petreece, a budget. Yes, please create a budget. Have a realistic budget for holiday expenses, right? Including we only spending this amount on gifts, this amount on food, right? Keep track of your spending and stay on track. Keep track and stay on track with your spending. So a budget is a big deal. And I know some people hate that word, but really it will help. So whether you're an individual and you want to ensure that you're not having anxiety over whatever little monies you have, or your family, please do a budget. Even get involved in terms of if you have children, talking about what is the situation and therefore what we're doing, in this season. And start early too. Don't go into all the last minute type of rush and you end up buying and paying, high costs for certain things. So try to avoid last minute shopping, try to find deals, right? Do your things early. Do your things early. So I know lots of people with, Black Friday, and I think today is Cyber Monday, and these different things. They're trying to get whatever little deals now, right? Prioritize and set boundaries. Decide so people generally have traditions, things they do that makes the season feel like the season, right? Um, Decide what traditions are most important and set realistic expectations for yourself and others. You may not be able to do certain things this year. Let people know that, right? um you don't want to take part in some kind of expensive gift exchange. You don't, so that once you are not taking part in the gift exchange, no, you're not going to be getting a gift. But it's okay, I don't have the money to be in some gift exchange. $500 is how much you need to spend for the gift, and you're thinking $500, I don't have that. Right? I may be talking to some very rich people here, but there are people, $500 is really a lot of money to spend on a gift, or even $300 on a gift exchange, right? So you decide, and have realistic expectations, right? Remember, your worth is not tied into how much you could spend, how much you have. You are valuable. You are priceless. You are loved by God, right? Get creative with your gifts and your decorations, right? Consider making homemade gifts, which can be personal, less expensive. So let's say you like baking, do some little, I don't know, cupcakes or fruitcake cupcakes, right? And and give to people as a gift. It's really about, this person was thinking about me. They're thinking about me. So I'm sure you would have ideas of things you can do in terms of gift giving that could be, less expensive. And then minimize unnecessary spending before the holidays. I mean, today's the 1st of December, but okay, so all into November, October, unnecessary spending, and so that we can have a little more, for the season, for the holiday season. Avoid credit card debt. Use the credit card responsibly. Have some kind of limit that we're not spending more than this, because we will not be able to pay it back, and we have all these crazy fees, right? To avoid that interest. And it's really important that when you're talking about finances, get your family involved. Talk about it. Say this is what is happening. If you have children, get ideas from the children. Children feel great when they can help. Sometimes you see them and they have their little savings and they want to say, Mommy, Daddy, look, I have $20 here, or some of them, look, I have $300 here. We could use this. And they feel so good. And you may not use it, but you let them know, okay, but we could do things different. What we could do different so we don't have to spend that much money this year, right? So get them involved. And of course, you can seek help, right? If you're struggling with serious financial hardship, please talk. Know that it is okay to feel however you feel, to feel overwhelmed, to feel stressed, to feel sad. It's okay. Feelings are neither right nor wrong, but don't keep it inside. In a family, don't do that by yourself. Share with your spouse, share with your children what is appropriate, right? But don't go through it alone. Also, if you need to, probably in terms of going forward, seek some kind of advice from a financial advisor, or even persons who and it could be persons even in like your church community, your family, friend groups, who know things about finances that they can give you some tips, things you may have never considered doing. All right? But know that this can be a time that has a lot of financial stress, which could make the season difficult or tough. Another one, and this one can be so heartbreaking, right, is job loss. And actually, statistically, it is more likely for you to lose your job in December and January. And I mean, you're hearing that, and that sounds, oh my God, that is so heartbreaking, right? Because that's the time when a lot of companies doing things like the review of their budget and certain planning and stuff like that. So really, people lose jobs around this time, right? And losing a job around this holiday time is really traumatic, right? It's really traumatic, and it makes it hard to enjoy family time without having, a lot of anxiety around finances. So even if, and so there are many people who are living paycheck to paycheck. And then there are others who may have some savings, but even where you have savings, losing a job at this time is traumatic, right? Acknowledge that it is traumatic, that it is a difficult experience, and give yourself permission to not be okay. No, I am not okay. I am sad. I am overwhelmed. I don't know what to do, right? And reach out. Talk. Please do not bear this by yourself, right? So while you are, and one of the reasons why you need to reach out, why you need to share, why you need to be okay with not being okay, and don't tell yourself, I shouldn't feel like this, I shouldn't feel like that, something is wrong, is because really you want to be able to have some kind of energy to make plans and to even stay positive. And if we keep all those painful emotions inside, all it will do is take us down into a very dark place, right? So you want to, if this is what is happening, maintain a routine. Try to maintain a routine, wake up at a consistent time, treat your job search, so you're searching for a job, as like, almost like this is my job, to try to get a new job. Now, it may be very difficult at this time because many people, in terms of their hiring process, they slow down or they pause during the holiday season, right? So of course, you have to manage whatever you have. So you have to review your budget, try and deal with just the essentials, if rent payment, mortgage, food, tighten up things in your household, right? Of course, you're avoiding unnecessary spending. And please, if you have family, you should not be doing this alone. Do not hide that I have lost my job, right? Do not hide that things are not okay, especially as married couples. We are there to support and to help one another. And your identity is not, your worth is not in being a provider. Your worth is not in the job that you have. Yes? So get your family involved in discussing how are we going to deal with this. Get your family involved in praying about this situation, right? Do what you need to do. Most people have a sense of what they need to do. So you also want to consider temporary things, part-time things, even self-employment as a way to provide some kind of income while you search for another position. So people end up using their cars to, to transport, different things that we could get some sort of, income. But, share about it. Don't go through this alone. Lean on friends, family, professional networks, right? Your support system is crucial in this time. And it's just important to remember, anybody going through this at any level in their career, this will be hard. This will be hard. Talk to your church family. We've had people in church communities, well, Huey and I plant churches at meeting homes, and who would have had this experience. And thankfully, the community came together. We collected money. We gave money to people to help them, and we will continue doing that because that is what church is about, right? That is what church is about. Those who have, ensure that those who don't have, so that nobody don't have and other people have, right? And this is very, very important. So talk to your church family. You haven't done, is losing your job doesn't make you some kind of bad person or a lazy Christian or something is wrong with you, right? And of course, you have little talents, do little things, find things that possibly you could sell or make, right? Consider retraining. Consider retraining. So if the industry or wherever you are is unstable, use the time, if possible, to learn something for a new position or to change into a different field. Sometimes this is what propels people into self-employment, right? Tap in to the hidden job market. So you have friends, you have contacts, right? Many positions are filled through referrals rather than advertisements. So somebody may be looking for somebody to manage their store, and they're not advertising that. They're asking people, do you know anyone who will be good to do this, da, da, da? So let people know, listen, I am looking for a job. It is, you're not doing anything wrong. It's not shameful. We fall on hard times. When Adam and Eve sinned, life became difficult, and we get hit with many, many curveballs, right? And so let people know. So people keep an eye out, an ear out, girl, boy, I heard about this, heard about that. Or you hear something, hey, I have somebody, I know someone, I'll refer him to you for this position, because not all jobs are advertised, right? So this is a tough situation, but you can't go through this alone. You need to share. You need to talk to family, friends, your church family, right, to get support. A third situation that makes the Christmas season tough and not the most wonderful time of the year, and this is a real, real one, is family tensions and difficult relationships. Because when we think of the Christmas season, we think of family. We think of families laughing, happy, eating nice food, hugging each other, giving gifts, taking out nice pictures and memories. That's the idea we have in our head, right? And so when we have difficult family dynamics, that can be saddening. It can be, right? So unrealistic expectations for a perfect family gathering, it could actually amplify existing conflicts. Be real. So you have to be real. If there's a difficult issue in the family or a lot of dysfunction in the family, have realistic expectations about what being with family would look like in this season. Don't hope that this year will be different when you know nothing has actually changed. So don't have, okay, well, I just hope this year will be different. And then you're reaching out your heart, to get something from the family or the family get-togethers, and then when it doesn't happen, you feel also sad and also heartbroken again. And why my family have to be like this? And why my family not like this family? And you don't want to do that. The reality is that, yes, even with family, things can be challenging. So before the holidays, you want to set realistic expectations and even have boundaries, right? Clearly communicate what I'll be available for and what I'm not available for. Even you may want to set um, time, time limits for your visit. You want to also prepare mentally, right? And preparing mentally has to do with having realistic expectations, right? And you want to focus on what you have control over. And by now, I've been doing this program a long time. You know what you have control over. What you have control over is how you choose to respond to things. You do not have control over what other people will do, but you have control over how you choose to respond. What you choose to say yes to, no to, walk away from, right? How long you choose to be there, right? So if you're showing up, show up as your wonderful self. But just know I would have some boundaries so that this doesn't become unhealthy and painful for me. So if you're married, communicate with your spouse. Work together as a team to create some kind of game plan, right, to deal with this. I know we had certain situations to deal with, and Huey and I would have said, okay, this is what we're going to be doing in this situation, right? So, yes, work together as a team because the reality, there's no perfect. It's no perfect. We can have healthy and unhealthy and a range in between there, but we don't have perfect. Try to avoid triggers. So, we're talking about where the dynamics with family is difficult, right? Be mindful of things that could increase tension, like discussing certain topics or discussing certain relationships or talking about certain people. Stay away. Try to avoid those things, right? We came here for a family get together to eat some food, to catch up with people. Try and stay away from certain things that you know will trigger quarreling and arguing, right? So one of the ways to actually do that is to find common ground. So if you know you're going to be interacting with difficult family members, try to find topics that I know, these good. We could talk about these things, right? Things that you're both share an interest in. Because remember, it doesn't make sense trying to bring up an issue in that kind of setting. It doesn't, right? It doesn't. So yeah, try to talk. If you want to bring up something that is really important, find another time to do it. And especially if it's with an individual, it's best if it's done one-on-one. If a conflict arises and you really feel you cannot be the peacemaker there and bring reason to it, probably your position in the family, you can't do that, because even in families there are people who have more weight and more authority, and they can get in and deal with certain things. So if you feel you don't have that position, you don't you want to kind of stay away, right? And observe the interaction, right? Even if it's chaos, and pray if you need to pray about it, right? But you don't want to, you're seeing something happening there and you just want to get in there and you make it, end up making it worse. If there's somebody who's there who can help, ask them if they can get involved, please, right? Limit your time. Don't feel obligated to spend the entire holiday season with difficult family members. You don't have to, right? You could spend time with friends, even adopted family. And please pray for your family members. Pray for deliverance, for salvation, for healing, for wholeness. So you're not just staying away. No, you're praying too because you love them and you want them to be whole and healed and better, right? You're invested in this. This is your family, right? They may be dysfunctional, but it's your family, and God placed you there, even as a follower of Jesus, to help to bring them to Him, right? Prioritize your self-care, because for some people, having this difficult family dynamics, I'm not looking forward to this season. So you could actually come into this season stressed. So prioritize taking care of yourself, right? Ensure you're getting enough sleep. Ensure you're eating as best as possible. Ensure you're taking time for yourself, so that when you show up, you're good at feeling good at getting enough sleep and not feeling stressed and grumpy and moody. So now we're taking more energy for me to put on a smile, or for me to listen to the uncle that goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and you cannot get a word in, and you're rolling my eyes as stupid, and you don't want to be that person, right? And I'm sure you all understand what I'm talking about. You want to also possibly start new traditions, right? So create new traditions with friends or even with family that you choose, that you get along well with. And this can help to build a new positive memory to take focus off of that difficult dynamic. So you have certain family here really close to them, are cool with this great aunt and these three cousins and this uncle. So you know what? We could have something here, right, where we just celebrate certain things, and if we're all followers of Jesus, we could pray for family that not in that place. Yeah. Spend some time alone. Spend some time alone, right? So yes, I have all this interacting, but sometimes you just need some alone time to recharge and refocus, and to do activities that you enjoy, or sometimes just to have a day that is fulfilling to you alone. And nothing is wrong with that, right? Spending some time alone. And of course, even if you're doing all of this and you still feel terribly overwhelmed, you feel sad, you feel depressed, get professional help, right? Because sometimes we may feel like, I don't have anybody to talk to. You feel very alone. You wonder if you're the only person experiencing this, and that's partly why I'm doing this program, because no, it is not the most wonderful time of the year for everyone, right? And if that's how you feel, I need you to know that you are not alone, right? So you can get help, talk, and the professional, the counselor, the psychologist, right, can give you, coping strategies, not just for yourself, but also to deal with relatives who may be, really dysfunctional and affect you in a very negative way. Number 4, another situation, circumstance that can make this time of the year tough is loneliness and isolation, right? Because this is a time of the year, the emphasis is on family. The emphasis is on social connections, right? And so that the holiday time could intensify those feelings of loneliness and depression for persons who are alone, um, persons whose family not close by, their family is not even in the country, so they have no siblings or whatever in the country. Even for things like where there's loss in terms of death. Um, so it can really make this time tough, even for persons who want to be in relationships. So I want to be in a committed relationship. I want to be married, but I'm not, because, Christmas, it heightens all those things. Even all the movies, the movies where, let me see if I can get it's, they're in a big city, the something happened and they have to go back to the small town and they meet somebody they had a relationship with when they were in secondary school, well, we say secondary school, whatever, high school. And yeah. And then they end up in this, yeah, and eventually in this committed relationship, dump the boyfriend from the city. And so you have all these movies that, talk about connection and love and romance and, all these things. And you're looking at your life and it's like, wait, boy, that's not my life. And it intensifies those feelings of loneliness and depression, right? And loneliness is not just about being alone, because you could be alone and not lonely. So loneliness is really a perceived lack of meaningful social connection, right? Which is different from like solitude, because solitude could actually um recharge you and rejuvenate you. You're spending time alone. Um, but loneliness is draining and is actually detrimental to our mental health. When God said it is not good for man to be alone, that we're talking about that kind of loneliness, that is not good, right? And again, remember, being alone does not necessarily mean loneliness or lonely, right? We're talking about solitude. So I could be alone and feel great and I'm recharging and I'm good. But the whole thing is really those social connections where you feel like you matter to people. They're looking out for you. They want to be around you. They're considering you. They're thinking about you. That is what is critical. So if this is the situation, you want to reach out to loved ones. There are people who care about you. Call, video call, right? Message, right? Family who are far away, something. Volunteering. You see, helping others, that is a big deal. We are really wired to help others. So give back, giving back. Volunteer for a food drive. I mean, even right now, we have different communities collecting food stuff and stuff to help people, volunteer for that. Even volunteer to be one of the people who giving out the food or collecting toys for children and distributing them. Just doing that and putting a smile on other people's faces and being able to make a family happy during the season will do a lot for you. Connecting with a neighbor, right? Invite a neighbor over for lunch or for dinner, laugh, talk. Yeah, spend a day with another family or friend. Sometimes, whatever, your family is not around, your friends may even be far away, or you're going through difficult things with your friends, so you feel alone. But you may have people who really love you and care about you and don't mind you spending some days with them. Take it up. Go. Go and do it. Right? Create your own traditions, right? Make a list of things that make you happy and do some of those things. You like, watching certain movies, reading a book, I always wanted, I like painting and I have this stuff there, you know, do activities that you enjoy, things that add emotional energy to your life. Do something nice for yourself. Treat yourself to something that you enjoy, a nice meal, even a relaxing day at home, just doing what you would want to do, right? Very critical. Plan for after the holidays. The holiday is not going to last forever, and we know that, right? It's not going to last forever. So having something to look forward to can make a big difference. So plan for after. This is what I'm going to do. I'm looking forward to doing this next year, God's willing, after this holiday time. Recognize your emotions. Acknowledge that it is common to feel lonely during this time of the year, and it is okay to feel that way. And for those who like to write, journaling, get it out, write about it. Don't just keep it in there and don't tell yourself, well, I shouldn't feel this, I shouldn't feel that. Also, another thing is gratitude. Sometimes just sit in and just writing a list like 50 things that I am thankful for. Gratitude does something really positive for our brain, right? So, gratitude. Have gratitude for what you do have. Now, avoid the social media comparison. To me, I would tell some people just stay off of social media, right? Remember what social media does, right? Basically, it highlights the best reels of people's life, the best times in their life, right? Um, so please, all those posts is a lot of them, well, a lot of people is idealize things, right? So this is the ideal moment. So they're sharing the best family pajama picture. They didn't share the one where the child say, no, mommy, I don't want to do this. This pajama scratchy. I don't. They're not sharing those, right? They share the one where everybody seems to be smiling and happy, right? So social media can make you feel depressed. So if you know that you are one of those people, just stay off of social media. If you need to let people know you're coming off so if they don't see you, they don't get worried, right? Oh, and this is another thing. If you're spending time alone, please, and you're not visiting anywhere, let people know that so that people can check in on you. You don't want anything to happen to you and nobody knows something happened to you, right? Um, yeah, but avoid social media. You can find some new creatives, hobby. You have a lot of people very creative and you want to try out something new. That's a good time to do it during the season. Also seeking to learn and professional development. So doing some online course to keep your mind active and to feel a sense of accomplishment, right? Getting in books, something to keep your mind active really helps. Another thing is because you can get depressed, you want to keep a routine. So if you have a routine, I get up, I I don't know, thank God, I go and I exercise, I walk outside or I go and I exercise. Keep up that routine. You may want to just stay in your bed the whole day because I'm feeling down. That is actually bad for your mental health, right? So actually going outside is very important. Don't stay in your bed all day. Go outside, get some sun, go by the beach, right? Do something in nature. I always tell people, God put us in a garden, and it's so amazing how much nature does for us. Now, if the loneliness is overwhelming, please consider getting professional help. Please consider talking to a counselor, speaking to a therapist, right, that could provide tools and strategies to cope with the loneliness in a healthy way. So I'm not going to, I'm seeing the time, so I would stop here. And as I say, there's a second part to this because I have other things to deal with. But just know, I am just affirming that the Christmas season can be difficult for many persons. It is not the most wonderful time of the year for everyone. And I think, especially as followers of Jesus, we have to be on the lookout to help persons where we can. I know that there are people who have helped you and I, you know, um, during difficult times, but also God has helped us in the sense that even times when we said nothing, God sent people. And so please know that God is with you in this. Please also don't lock away yourself. You belong to a church community, you have church family. Talk, share. That's what we're there for. That's what we're there for. The greatest commandment, to love God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love our neighbor as we love ourselves, right? To love one another. Very, very important. All right, so Tiffany?
Yes, Petreece. All right. Well, I know we still have another part to finish off with this one. How many more, Petreece? Someone spoke about the lost jobs, and I know you mentioned that as well.
Yes.
Loss of jobs, right. So I know you will tackle that.
Yes.
I know you will.
I did it actually. That was the second point.
Any more in detail?
More
Would you be
detail.
a little more in detail? I'm seeing a message here from someone. All right. I'm hoping she
Uh-huh.
would have heard that piece. I don't know if she probably wanted a little more, but continue
Or
to listen
probably
out.
probably the person can't go back to the recording.
Yes, all right. So I will just send them a little message when we come off air. All right.
Sure.
But thank you, Patrice, and of course, let me leave your number. I know persons are always interested in reaching out to you. Remember, guys, it's a message only number, and the number is 329-7383. 329-7383. And I also need to apologize. We had a bit of a loss in audio when we started, but it was rectified. All right. So look forward to getting this on FBN TV and also Isaac the Promise on Facebook. All right. So Patrice, once again, thank you much. I didn't see any calls coming in. All right. So we leave that for next week, please the Lord. All right. So until we
Sure.
meet again, thank you as usual
You're
and have a
welcome.
beautiful day today. All right. So
You
God bless
too.
you until we meet again.
God bless you
Have
too.
a great one.
All
Take
right.
care. Bye bye.
Hi, I'm Petreece Cuffie, counselor and trainer, and one of my deepest desires is to see people experience the fulfillment and growth that comes through healthy relationships. We're wired for relationships, so tune in and join with me as I explore and discuss tools for healthy relationships every Monday, 12:15 p.m. on Isaac 98.1 FM.
Isaac 98.1 FM.